Today I'm here to share with you 10 amazing things that you need to know before you can travel to the United Arab Emirates.
Welcome back to my channel, Experience Africans. Here we share the experience of Africans living both home and abroad.
Today I'm right here at Dubai Marina, and this is Sober Reality Metro Station just right here. And I'm here sitting. I want to share things that you need to know as an African before you head into the United Arab Emirates.
The United Arab Emirates is a beautiful place full of opportunities, but always remember that where there are opportunities, is so much also competition. The UAE airports are some of the most busiest airports in the world. Everybody is trooping in day and night. What could be the reason?
The UAE visa is said to be one of the cheapest and most affordable visas to acquire because of the process is so easy. You just need your documents to get it, and you just need your passport, and if you can afford it, you just apply for it. Most times, if you don't have any staying, you easily be approved the visa and you can come in here. And a lot of people take advantage of that and they relocate to the UAE.
So where there is traffic, definitely you know there's going to be competition, and therefore you have to be prepared before you come into the UAE.
And that these 10 things you need to know as an African will greatly help you while you are on your journey here and also trying to find something to do for yourself, while you're also trying to think of how you can help and inspire and support your family back home. But as you know it, whenever there is an ease of doing something, and so many people see a lot of opportunities in the country, which you yourself is traveling to, definitely there's going to be a lot of competition. So UAE might be cheap to come in, but it's actually an expensive place to stay in, and also to get a job might not really come as easy as you take it to be. Africans in the UAE actually have so much bad image that for you to succeed as an African, you have to be ready to be outstanding. And this bad image is not because all Africans are bad. Every nationality has good people and has bad people. And because you're African, you could be stereotyped, and that doesn't mean that people don't like Africans. There are a lot of Africans that are doing amazingly well in their companies, and their employers wish that they can get same Africans like them to work with them. So if you're planning to come into the UAE and to do a job in the UAE, you must be sure planning to be an outstanding person so that you can stand out in the crowd.
The UAE is a country that when you're coming as number 3, you must be prepared to have your BTA. And your BTA is that money that you carry with you when you arrive in a foreign destination. That is your basic travel allowance.
The UAE is not a country where you come with a BTA of $100, because in the UAE, it's a place that you never know when your paycheck is going to come. You might come today and get a job, and you might come here and spend 6 months, 7 months to a year without a job. So if you're planning to come into the UAE, you must certainly be prepared to have extra income where you'll be able to sustain yourself while you're waiting your first salary to come. There's a lot of spending to be done, both your accommodation, feeding, and so on and so forth. So you have to be prepared. If you're coming to the UAE, make sure you have the minimum $500 BTA which they require from you, because you could even be turned back right at the airport just for not having the required BTA. So make sure that you have your required $500 dollar, BTA, and extra if you have. And also, you should have some kind of plan B, like you should have someone at home who can back you up, or you should have a return ticket ready in case you don't get a job. You can easily exit from this country without needing any much help and not being stranded.
Number 4, 99% of those coming from Africa are being promised jobs. And sometimes because they come here and they don't get that job, they get into overstays and sometimes into more issues than they would have been back home.
99.9% of jobs your agent promised you while you're back home in Africa are actually not real. Because a lot of people right here depend on you traveling here to make a living for themselves. They lure you with all kinds of jobs. They send all kinds of pictures on their status and their Instagram and social media pages just to entice you that everything is rosy. I have never called this place bad, and I will never call it bad. I know that there are a lot of Africans that are doing great things and are becoming successful. They have built their dreams here and they have moved to certain places. Some have gone back to reinvest back at home. But there are a lot of challenges that come with staying here and also working here. So if you're not that kind of person that is strong enough to stay and work here, please don't be deceived by taking your hard-earned money and giving to any agent who promised you a job.
If you are a new subscriber and you're watching this video for the very first time, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that when next I post a video, you'll be first to be notified. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you for watching this video.
Because some of them might just be after taking that small money that you have, paying it for the visa, applying the visa, and they don't care if it gets approved or rejected, which most times is approved. But their major concern is the small tips that they're going to make out of this. And once you're here, they don't even come to the airport to see you. Business is done deal, and they let you go. And you're now here without a job. And some of them are also without jobs. So you're just going to come join them and they just don't care. So be careful when you get such offers of mouthwatering jobs to come here into the UAE to start a job right from home. Be careful.
Number 5, free accommodation is scarce in the UAE. Don't get angry when your friend or your relative refuses to accommodate you. The UAE is a place where everybody caters for his accommodation. Most people live even in company accommodations.
Accommodation is something that everybody in the UAE will definitely tell you about. It is very rare for someone to accommodate you, whether family or friend, because most times you find people living in shared apartments. You find sometimes you have like 10, 8, 9, 10 people living in a common or a shared space, and you wouldn't expect if they start accommodating different people, the number would eventually double. So if everyone brings one person, it's going to double. So most people would either turn you down because they cannot accommodate you, and even it's possible they want to accommodate you, but their landlords or landladies might not be willing to have an extra person come to stay. I have seen where they tell you your visitor can only stay a day. Some people, their visitors cannot even stay an extra day. So you have to keep your visitors out. So somebody might not be able to accommodate you based on the fact that it's not like they don't want to accommodate you, but because the system where they are does not accommodate, do not accept that kind of thing, and because they don't want to open up their space to people who are going to be squatters within the facilities.
So don't assume that they don't like you and that's why they don't want to attend to you, that they are wicked, you are in a foreign land and they're not giving you attention.
So be careful when coming. Make sure that you prepare yourself for your accommodation, because nobody is going to be accommodating you. Your prospective employer has a different culture entirely from where you're coming from.
Always calm down to observe. Don't think that because you're coming from Africa or from wherever you're coming from, the place is a cosmopolitan place and we have people from different countries and communities.
So you need to be calm, you need to be observant, and you need to accept that where you're coming to is different from where you have been. So you have to calm down and learn the ropes from these people who are already there, see how they do their things, and learn to do it in the same similar fashion. And by standing out, I'm sure learning, you will definitely stand out if you are a true learner from the people who are there before you, or from the master who has employed you. You will definitely get along.
UAE has labor laws. Get someone who knows them to explain to you before you sign any contract. Don't act on information that you just get online. Find somebody who knows the place very well to tell you what goes on here. If you need to go to the labor court to find out the documents before signing them, get to find out what it takes before you can actually sign a contract.
At the same time, almost every emirate has its own laws. So if you're coming to UAE, you need to find someone who is familiar with those labor laws. You can afford to get a labor lawyer before you sign any contract to know what you need to do before you sign your contract, it will be very good. But if you cannot, there is what we call the labor ministry, where normally we go to sign our contracts. You can go to those places, and I'm sure they'll be very willing to help you out by you asking questions about your contract, your working hours, and everything. Find someone to explain to you about these labor laws before you put a pen on paper to sign your labor contract. Because eventually, once you sign your contract, it's always not easy for you to cancel before the period of your probation expires. You might have a better offer and you've already signed a contract. Now you want to leave that contract. You're feeling like, how can I leave now when I've already signed the contract? Or you signed the contract and you're given a labor ban, and then you get into more trouble. So make sure that you find out from people who have been here before you about labor contracts, and then you can familiarize yourself with them. Then you can go ahead and have a very good stay while working for your boss.
If you are a skilled worker, which is number 8, e.g. a mechanic, a mason, electrician, it is easier for you to get a job. But at the same time, if you don't know your rights, you could be taken advantage of. So if you're coming with your degrees or whatever kind of qualification that you have, and you think it's just easy for you to get a job, it might not be as easy as you might think it. So you might come with your qualification and end up getting a lesser job than what you have expected or what your agent has told you.
Planning to come to the UAE, eventually there are a lot of opportunities for skilled workers. But I always would see myself as an African and would preach that I want to see Africans doing white-collar jobs more than blue-collar jobs. So it is easier for blue-collar job seekers to get their jobs, but most times their rights are being trampled upon because they just feel like there are so many of them, so many people are here looking for jobs, and even if you don't give the value added to the company, they might eventually drop you. Even if you give the value, they feel like you're easily replaceable, so they might not really take you so serious and give you every benefit that you desire. So what I would advise is that if you have your degree, it's not bad that you come here and find out by connecting with the right mindsets, and find out how you can get your job. If you have your qualification, you can find the right mindsets on so many social media platforms where you can begin to communicate with these people and network with these people, and you can get a very good paying job thereafter. So it is easier for those with handwork, what I say, like we call it in Africa, we call it handwork, but it's better for the skilled to easily get a job than for somebody who has a professional degree. And it's not like there is no job for those who have professional degrees, but like I said, we don't know the ropes. You need to learn the ropes before you can actually get such a job. So if you take your time and learn the ropes, you will get the job. And there's nothing wrong in starting small. Some people have come with their degrees, but they started as cleaners, waiters within the company. They grew to the ranks, and they're where they are exactly today. So you can start from the bottom, and then you will get to the top. Whenever you work hard and you show resilience, you definitely achieve your goal also.
Always be sure you want a job before you take it. Don't sign a job contract and abandon it midway. If you abandon your contract less than 6 months into the job, or even sometimes even more than that, it might be the beginning of your predicament. This has happened to a lot of people, and it has caused a lot of people issues because they didn't know the terms, they didn't know how to go about it. They actually resigned from their jobs within the period that they were not supposed to drop their jobs.
Which is very important. Always be sure, always be sure you want a job before you put pen on paper. Don't take a job because you're desperate, you just need to get this job going, and you take a job and just few weeks later or few months later into the job, you want to quit. You will definitely be ruining your reputation with your company, and eventually might be ruining your reputation with the labor with the labor department here in the country, because it's labor, and once they ban you in labor, it means you are banned from working for any other company. So be very careful before you put pen on paper that you're sure of the job that you want to take before you even go ahead to take that job. If you don't want a job, don't take a job. It is very, very wrong for you to take a job and leave a contract before the end of your probation. That is before the 6 months probation. Make sure you want a job before you take a job. Don't take a job when you don't need it.
For those who get promise of visa and ticket to pay back when you get to UAE, please be very careful. Out of these people who come on these particular promises, 99.9% of them are either coming from prostitution or extortion that they don't even know. In UAE, prostitution is a crime. Just to say it out, don't expect that you'll come here, somebody will promise you a visa, and then he will tell you when you get here, you pay for the visa, and you just take the chance. You come without getting to know what you're coming to do here. You could be putting yourself at risk, because so many have eventually not been able to tell the story of how it happened. So make sure you know where you're going to, who is catering for you, why they're bringing you in, what kind of job you'll be doing. If there's a way to sign an agreement with them before coming, make sure you do that before you even come here. At the end of the day, Dubai is very expensive. And having to think that you have just so little, you might not be able to sustain yourself.